Imagine a moment in history where Earth wasn't alone anymore, where the silent void of space finally spoke back. For centuries, we had sent messages, signals, and probes into the unknown, hoping for an answer. But what if the first response we received wasn't a friendly greeting, but a warning, a desperate message from an alien civilization, begging us not to make the same mistake they did? What if we ignored it, and unknowingly sparked the deadliest war in galactic history? The year was 2087, and humanity had just achieved what once seemed impossible: our first direct communication with an extraterrestrial intelligence. A massive deep space transmission was intercepted by an array of satellites stationed beyond Mars, buried within layers of complex data unlike anything seen before. It took years to decipher, but when linguists finally cracked the code, the message was chilling. Do not reach beyond your world, they are waiting. At first, the message was dismissed as a hoax, an anomaly. Governments and scientific institutions debated its authenticity, with skeptics claiming it was nothing more than cosmic noise or an elaborate prank. But some believed otherwise, and they had good reason to. For the past 3 decades, strange anomalies had been detected in deep space, powerful energy signatures vanishing without a trace, entire regions of the galaxy going silent. Something was out there, lurking just beyond our reach. But by the time humanity understood the true meaning of the message, it was too late. The mistake that doomed us. All fueled by ambition, curiosity, and the unstoppable drive to explore, humanity pressed forward. Our most advanced ship, the Odyssey, was sent beyond the solar system, equipped with AI, quantum drives, and a crew trained for first contact. It was supposed to be the beginning of a new era. But what happened next shattered every dream of peaceful exploration. As Odyssey reached the designated star system, they found something horrifying: a graveyard of worlds, planets stripped of life, their surfaces scorched and lifeless. Gigantic structures, possibly artificial, floating in the void, abandoned, wrecked, and silent. And then, something noticed them. The moment Odyssey activated its communication systems, the response was immediate. A fleet emerged from the shadows, massive, ominous, unlike anything humanity had ever seen. They didn't send a message, didn't try to communicate. They attacked. Within minutes, Odyssey was gone. No distress signal, no survivors. The only thing that reached Earth was a garbled transmission, static, screams, and a single chilling word repeated over and over: run. Humanity had made first contact, and in doing so, we had awakened something that should have remained undisturbed. The war that was never supposed to happen. The attack on Odyssey sent shockwaves across Earth. Governments scrambled to understand what had happened, but the answer became painfully clear when alien warships entered our solar system. They weren't here to negotiate. They weren't here to listen. They were here to end us. These invaders weren't just another species. They were an ancient force, a civilization forged in war. They had seen others like us before, and every time, the result had been the same. To them, new civilizations were not potential allies, but threats. Threats that had to be eliminated before they could grow strong enough to resist. Humanity fought back with everything we had: nuclear weapons, railguns, even prototype energy weapons. But against an enemy with thousands of years of technological advantage, it wasn't enough. Cities burned, space stations fell, and within weeks, Earth's defenses were crumbling. But then, something unexpected happened. The unexpected turn of the war. As Earth's defenses faltered, hope seemed like a distant memory. But just when it appeared humanity was on the brink of annihilation, a strange new alliance emerged. Unexpectedly, a faction of the alien invaders, the ones who had been silent observers during the early stages of the conflict, offered to help. These were the same species that had sent the warning all those years ago. They were the survivors of a destroyed civilization, the remnants of a race that had once been allies of the aggressors. This faction, known as the Archalians, had watched as the war raged across the galaxy, helpless to intervene. For centuries, they had been hiding from their former allies, who they now described as a ruthless, expansionist empire known as the Zeroth. The Archalians, who had been one of the first civilizations to encounter the Xerath, were well aware of the horrors they were capable of, and they had spent generations in secret, developing new weapons, technologies, and tactics designed to destroy the Xerath once and for all. The Archalians had lived in fear of the Xerath's return. They knew that if humanity was wiped out, the galaxy would fall to their dark reign. So, in an act of rebellion against their own kind, they secretly made contact with Earth's leaders and presented their offer. Help us, and we'll show you how to fight back. The terms were simple. Humanity would need to join forces with the Archalians, combining their advanced technology with the strength of Earth's forces. In exchange, the Archalians would provide crucial knowledge of the Xerath's weaknesses, their tactics, and their technology. Humanity, faced with certain extinction, reluctantly agreed. And so, the first true alliance between two species, born out of mutual desperation, was forged. The turning tide. With the Archalians' guidance, Earth began to turn the tide. While the Xerath's fleet remained overwhelmingly powerful, humanity and the Archalians were able to strike at its vulnerabilities. One key discovery was the Xerath's over-reliance on their enormous warships, massive vessels that acted as their mobile cities. These ships, though armed to the teeth, were slow and vulnerable in close combat. The Archalians, with their stealth technology, taught Earth's forces how to infiltrate the Xerath's defenses and sabotage their ships from within. But the most shocking discovery came from the Archalian archives, a secret weapon that could potentially annihilate the Xerath's entire fleet in a single strike. The weapon, known as the Stellar Catalyst, was a device capable of creating controlled singularities. These miniature black holes could be used to suck entire ships, even entire fleets, into nothingness. The Archalians had never dared use it, fearing its destructive power. But with humanity's relentless determination, the device was soon activated, changing the course of the war. However, despite these victories, the true cost of the war began to reveal itself. Entire planets were laid to waste, and billions of lives were lost, not just from Earth, but across multiple star systems. The Xerath had been relentless, and they were willing to burn entire worlds to stop the alliance. As the battle dragged on, both sides began to realize the ultimate truth. This war would not end with a single victory. It would be a fight for survival, for the very future of the galaxy. A question of morality. As the war continued, the morality of the conflict began to fracture. The Xerath had their own story, one of survival and preservation. They had once been a noble species, but their ruthless expansion had corrupted them. The Archalians, too, had their own dark past, one that had led them to retreat into the shadows for so long, and humanity was caught in the middle, a young civilization thrust into a galactic conflict it never asked for. Earth had never intended to go to war. But in the face of annihilation, humanity had learned to adapt, quickly, violently, and with great sacrifice. The final clash and the aftermath as the war stretched on, humanity and its Archalian allies faced the ultimate choice: use the Stellar Catalyst to end the conflict once and for all, or risk the Xerath rebuilding and launching another wave of destruction. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The weapon, with its ability to create singularities, was powerful enough to erase the entire Xerath fleet in a single strike, but it came with a terrible price. If used recklessly, it could trigger a chain reaction, destabilizing entire star systems, possibly even affecting Earth itself. The Archalians, who had been hesitant to use such destructive technology, were now divided. Some argued that the Xerath must be destroyed completely, no matter the cost. Others feared the long-term repercussions of such power, reminding everyone that the Stellar Catalyst had already been a force of destruction once before. Yet, with the Xerath's forces closing in, time was running out for debate. Humanity, caught in the moral dilemma, chose to act. A massive offensive was planned. In a final push, Earth's forces, working alongside the Archalians, targeted the heart of the Xerath fleet, a colossal flagship surrounded by thousands of smaller ships. This would be the decisive battle. The Stellar Catalyst would be deployed to break the enemy's resolve and cripple their war machine once and for all. As the final battle unfolded, the air crackled with tension. Both sides knew this would be a fight to the death. Humanity's forces pushed forward, using every tactic, every weapon at their disposal. The Archalians, now fully committed to the cause, launched a coordinated assault with their stealth fleets, crippling the Xerath's defenses. It was a brutal, unrelenting assault, and the Xerath fought back with the fury of an empire that had once ruled the galaxy. But it was the stellar catalyst that ultimately tipped the scales. With one final, devastating strike, the device was activated. A singularity formed at the heart of the Xerath flagship, and within moments, it collapsed in on itself, devouring everything around it. The rest of the Xerath fleet, now crippled and scattered, fell into chaos. For the first time, humanity had forced the end of the war. However, the cost was immense. The stellar catalyst had done its job, but it left a trail of destruction in its wake. The black hole it created had consumed not just Xerath ships but large portions of the surrounding space. The war may have been won, but the galaxy had been scarred. In the aftermath, Earth was left to pick up the pieces. The Archalians, though victorious, had lost much. And the galaxy, forever changed by the war, would never be the same again. Both the Xerath and the Archalians were broken empires, shattered by their own ambitions and the endless war. Humanity, though battered, emerged as a force to be reckoned with. But the question remained, what kind of future would humanity build after such a devastating conflict? Could we rise from the ashes of war, or would we too fall into the same traps that led others to destruction? The road ahead. The war between the Xerath and humanity was over. But the lessons learned about power, ambition, and the true cost of survival remained. The galaxies were scarred, but new alliances were forged, and the future of interstellar peace lay in the hands of those who had survived. Humanity, now a major player in galactic affairs, would need to decide how to navigate this new, uncertain future. Would we be the peacemakers or the warmongers? The universe had shown us its darker side, and the question still lingered. Could we avoid the same mistakes? Or was the galaxy destined for another round of endless war? Only time would tell.